and my rods as well. But I want to talk about lines, you know, braid, mono, and fluoro all have a place and stuff like this. 90% of the time, I'm happy with my braid, and that's what I do. But if I gotta break down, here's a perfect story. I fished a tournament. My first tournament here in Arizona was on Bartlett. It was a All-Star, the first All-Star of last year on Bartlett. And I go up the river and I find this one little stretch of river. It's got this slop in it. And I'm like, oh, look at this, I've arrived, I'm home. You know? And the water's all stained, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get my flipping stick out of the rod. I didn't have it out, you know, because I didn't see anything like that on Bartlett, except for this one little stretch. And about the third pitch into this slop, I got this matted stuff. I mean, it wasn't grass, I don't know, it was just slop. But it took a 3/4 ounce weight for me to get in that stuff. And I'm like, oh, this stuff right here, about the third or fourth flip, I pull up a 3-pounder. And I'm like, well, I don't know much about Bartlett, but everybody's telling me a 3-pounder goes a long way on this lake. I think I'm onto something. Game day comes around, I go out and I run around, I get a couple fish in the boat on top water, so I gotta go hit my slop. 4 fish on my big old meat stick. Old Florida boy, you know, I weigh a couple pounds, so when I set the hook, things happen. 4 fish out of that slop, across the bow of my boat, and into the river. 4 of them. And you know, this is where it took me that long to figure out you need mono or fluoro. You need to or put a lighter rod. I like to flip with mono. I actually do. I use 17 to 20 pound big game, works great for flipping. And that was the perfect scenario where if I'd have had a rod spooled up with monofilament, I'd have broke it out and I'd have went to town. I can still get a good solid hook set, but I'm not gripping these little 13, 14 inch Bartlett bass over the deck of my boat and into the river. I mean, 4 of them, right? I didn't even come in with a limit, but I watched the limit go over the boat. So that's where you know, we're talking about tools. Everything in fishing is a tool. It's everything you use. Let's give some away.